If you've been following along with the Bud Light stuff, I've been making a video practically at least one every day for the better part of the month, and a lot of it's just been hee hee ha ha. Take a look at the dude in a dress who's, tanking a company, and for the most part, it's just been, lighthearted fun about Bud Light being about as popular as colorectal cancer. Every once in a while, we'll see some sales trend, but this is the first time where, wow, it's really going to, in the long term, affect the pocketbook of a whole lot of shareholders. This situation, in and of itself, the entire Bud Light debacle, the boycott that kind of hit the mainstream. I don't know, everybody knows about it. Literally everybody knows about it, but the consistent pressure, the actions taken by people in power to make those changes, I'm even just trying to think when people get canceled, and then they just end up losing contracts and stuff. I don't know if we have an equivalent for this, because this might very well be the most successful boycott that's out there. I don't think there's anything close, at least in recent memory. I'm sure we can go back in history and find some other things. This is just absolutely so wild. And now, like I was saying just a bit ago, the shareholders themselves, now they're going to start to feel it in the pocketbooks, because check this out. This just dropped. Bud Light parent company stock downgraded. The stock has been downgraded. You remember when we were taking a look at the stock dips that were in there, it was still trading at over $60 a share, which is, some higher end stock. But now, because of the consistent downgrade, the consistent sales drop week after week, month after month now they're downgrading the stock by HSBC amid branding crisis and a huge sales drop. Yo, man, it's just one can. It's just a bit of misinformation out there on social media. Nah, man, the chickens have come home to roost, and unfortunately for you, there's actually some cocks in there, even though you didn't order them. Anyways, HSBC has downgraded Anheuser Busch inBev stock to hold amid a crisis following Bud Light's marketing campaign featuring transgender activist Dylan Mulvaney. It wasn't a full-fledged it might as well have been at this point in time. Carlos Laboy, managing director at HSBC's global beverage sector. I didn't realize that HSBC had a global beverage sector, but okay. Told CNBC that there are deeper problems than ABI admits. Yeah, no, we could kind of see that from the outside looking in, especially the way that they're spurging out and releasing these statements that are being presented as apologies, don't actually apologize for anything, meant as a clarification. But it's more obfuscation and really setting the record straight. And then, yes, most recently, what was that, Sunday or something, where they were just actively attacking people for, no, you're just buying into the lies on the, not lies, misinformation, disinformation. You can't get sued for libel or slander if you say people have been influenced by mis and disinformation, even though you just mean that there's, goddamn idiots that just, take the bait, hook, line, and sinker, but nobody's taking the Bud Light hook, line, and sinker. Yo, that stuff is staying in coolers. Anyways, is ABI's leadership getting the brand culture transformation right? It's mixed. It's mixed, what, between absolutely and terrible? There is no mix here at all whatsoever, Cool, you wanted to attract some more people to your brand. I understand. A growing audience is always what every company is looking for. But you decided to jettison the people that were purchasing and drinking your product for a fraction of a percentage of people. It makes no sense until you start to peel the layers back, and it's like, oh, it all makes perfect sense. 80% of the consumer base is female. Who was in charge of your marketing campaign? Oh, a female who wanted to shift everything away from the fratty nature of Bud Light to a much more inclusive, a much younger audience, a much more female audience, which will go along with all this transgender stuff. The people that normally drink Bud Light, the people who have drank Bud Light at this point generationally, are not for that. Traditionally speaking, they're not for that. For as much as the Country Music Awards, whichever one that was, wants to put out this air of, oh, we're just so inclusive over here. Somebody who grows up in kind of a redneck part of the world, you don't see too many rainbow saddles, okay? You don't see too many people in straw hats and cut-off jean shorts shooting the shit about where the most effective site of injecting their estrogen is. These aren't conversations that these people are having. So mixed, you're out of your skull. At Ambev, I think it's supposed to be inBev, We think the answer is yes. In the United States, we think it's no. The way this Bud Light crisis came about a month ago, only a month, it seems like a lifetime away. Management's response to it has been loss of unprecedented volume and brand relevance raises many questions, LeBoy wrote. Yeah. LeBoy cited a beer marketer's insight note, which reported a drop in beer sales of possibly over 25% in April. Yeah, we've seen it was about 26%. Why did its U.S. leadership underestimate the risk of pushback given the recent experience of other firms? Because they thought they were bigger, they were too big to fail. Like, let's be completely honest. They are head and shoulders above every other brewer that's on the market. Out of the top 5 beers, they have 3 of them, right? Bud Light, Michelob Ultra, and then Bud Heavy. I think if it's not 3 in the top 5, it's 3 in the top 10. And the top 3, yeah, it's Bud Light, and then it's Modelo, and then it's Ultra. So yeah, they got too big. They thought that they could not be hit. They only stood to gain from this situation. Little did they know that they would set the precedent that if you betray your audience this bad, there's only failure that's going to be on your horizon. inBev is a Brazilian brewer, also owned by Anheuser Busch. Okay, inBev. So inBev is under the inBev umbrella. This is getting so weird and out of hand. For the first time in 3 weeks, sales of U.S. Bud Light dropped to the equivalent of 1% of the company's global volume for the time period. Yo, holy. So 1% of the entire global company, the biggest brewer in the world, they lost 1%. Yo, that's fucking significant, okay? Sales of Bud Light in retail stores also fell by 21.4% in the week ending April 22nd when compared to the same time last year. In comparison, Coors Light and Miller Lite saw their sales increase by nearly 21% according to analysis. Nielsen data by Bump It Up Williams Consulting. The situation has impacted our people and especially our frontline workers, the delivery drivers. Yeah, please, you have to buy our stuff. Otherwise, we'll have to lay people off because we made stupid business decisions. Please help us bail out. No, man, you're barking up the wrong tree. If you think the customers are coming back, we already know. We know that's not the case. Clay Travis's Nashville experiment, couple of other videos that I've seen as well, which we'll eventually get to. It's just all of this information needs to stop coming out at such a rapid rate, but it's not going to. But downgrading of the stock, bro, that's holy shit. Like, you guys really need to correct course, and everybody who's in the business can see it. It's like, you guys really fucked up, like monumental fuck up, and this is going to go down in history. This incident is going to be studied of what you don't do when you want to market, okay? Because the actual successful marketers that are out there, pardon my French, I'm getting too excited seeing Dylan's, wannabe horror villain's face. Marketing guru behind iconic Bud Light ads. Yeah, the big ones, yeah, this dude's behind them. Blasts the self-inflicted Dylan Mulvaney fiasco. Yeah, exactly. You know who drinks your beer. Just because there's a new market that's out there for seltzers doesn't mean that you have to betray your base. You're the number one beer. You're the number one. You're top dog. Holy. Anheuser Busch's former chief creative officer. They're probably hoping that he will be the future and current, whose iconic ads included the I Love You Man commercials and the Talking Frogs. You know, the Budweiser frogs. Those ones. Everybody remembers that one. The I Love You Man commercials. I don't remember. I might remember that, but sounds familiar. But everybody knows the the Talking Frogs. Literally, it's probably the most successful marketing campaign for a beer that has ever come around. Blasted the company's Belgian parent inBev over Bud Light's Dylan Mulvaney fiasco. It took us 20 years to take Bud Light beer to the number one beer in the country, and it took them 1 week to dismantle it. Robert Lachky told the St. Louis Post-Dispatch this week. Anheuser Busch has suffered from a complete lack of corporate oversight, and it's been that way since inBev took over the company. Oh shit, okay, so this guy knows the insides. All right, Lachky, who now runs his own consulting firm in St. Louis, RCL Group, told the Post on Wednesday. It's pretty obvious. inBev continues to fan the flames of their own with their defensive comments. This guy, I should be in this consultancy business, because I've been telling you guys this for weeks. But now, oh, because this guy's, oh, he made a marketing campaign or two, and wildly successful in his career. Anyways, he declined to comment further about the controversy. Marketing guru created many of Anheuser Busch's Super Bowl campaign ads in the 1990s and the 2000s. Yeah, when everybody remembers them. I know yeah, he must have been gone by the time that they tried to resurrect the whole, WASSUP. I don't know. Did he do that one? He did. He also spearheaded Buds and says, WASSUP. Yo, that shit was viral as fuck. And that one, I'm pretty sure that one was Bud Light. Because I remember the 20-somethings that were talking on the phone, the corded phones, going, WASSUP to one another. And fuck, man, that shit was everywhere. That was the only thing, okay? Because growing up, yeah, my parents made sure that, we weren't scrub kids or anything like that. We had, decent clothing and all that stuff. And I only had one beer shirt growing up. Parents didn't really drink like that anyways, but you all know those kids that, aren't well off, which i.e. means comes from a broken home or somebody can't properly budget, but they'd always show up in, just the raggedy old clothes. But I specifically wanted one, and I think we had to go buy it, if I'm being completely honest. But yes, it was the WASSUP shirt, because that shit was everywhere. God damn, it was popular. I had like a Pokemon sweater and that t-shirt, man. I needed to have those growing up. That shit was so popular. But now, I don't think the Dylan Mulvaney stuff's quite flying off the shelves like that. Like, oh no, run back what he did. Okay, so including the spots in which the three frogs sit on the lily pads and croak out, Budweiser, Budweiser. Lachky also spearheaded the incessant WASSUP promo and the ad showing the company's famed Clydesdales playing football. Yo, this dude, he's him. This is that dude. Like, holy shit. I wonder if he would have floated this. If he did, it probably would have been far more hilarious. In addition, Lachky served as Bud Light's brand manager during his 20-year tenure, producing the I Love You Man and Real Men of Genius campaigns. I also remember that one. Like, fuck, this dude is great. Holy shit. And now he's dunking on his former employer? Holy. Lachky left Anheuser Busch in 2009, 4 months after inBev acquired the company and began aggressive cost-cutting measures. But they still had enough money in the coffers to pay off niche social media influencers. Interesting, including several rounds of layoffs. At the time, Lachky said it was a decision to leave the company. Representatives for Anheuser Busch didn't immediately respond to requests for comment. Yeah, because we're tired of answering questions about trannies. Mulvaney controversy has prompted Anheuser Busch to place 2 executives, Alyssa Heinerschneid, yeah, the dumb bitch who came up with that fucking program, and the company's vice president of marketing for what is the mainstream brands? I forget his official title. They didn't include it here. Her boss, Daniel Blake, on leave until probably July. Let's keep it a buck. A day before the Mulvaney partnership, Heinerschneid revealed her plans to move Bud Light's image away from fratty and out-of-touch humor. Yeah, out-of-touch humor. Like, what's up? Like, the Budweiser frogs. Like, the Clydesdales. This bitch is just dumb and ideological. And guess what? When those two intersect and get into positions of power, what do you end up getting? Nothing as creative as this. You end up with shit like this. You fucking reap what you sow. Sucks to suck, I guess, but we'll have more information on all of the failings of this dumbass company more than likely tomorrow, because like I said, there's no sign of this slowing down. And hey, if they keep up this momentum, we'll see what they have planned for the Super Bowl of big gay decisions next month. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.